Hello and welcome to the LuckyCharms V4 release. Sorry that this took so long to make this video. I forgot that I was going to be out of the state for about 5 days, so that delayed it on top of me just trying to adjust things for last minute things. I will say the cheat's not really totally finished, but it's been way too long just to not release, so here I'm just releasing it. Also, this video is not going to be nearly as long as my usual release videos, mainly because I already made a showcase video not too long ago. So I'm going to just highlight the differences and then just go over some future things. First things first, I'm going to highlight some of the difference between the standard version and the early access. Early access is meant to be more of a donation type of thing, but you also get the legit bot. It's more of if you just want a legit cheat for $5 to mainly help out the cost of running the cheat, because in all honesty, it's the only thing that keeps the cheat running. And in no way I'm saying to just go out and buy it, if you want a legit cheat. It's more of if you want to donate. It's a lot more expensive than a lot of people think. And I also don't have as many early access as a lot of people think. But that's okay. I'm not trying to do this for, money or anything like that. It's more of just giving a free cheat to a lot of people that can't afford cheats or also don't want to have the risk of running some cracked DLL that someone randomly gave them. But the difference between early access and standard is mainly they just get early updates. There's no real thing. I'm not keeping the skin changer just for the early access users. It's more of just a donation with legit bot. The other thing that early access does get is my configs, but also if you become a member, it's the same thing. You get the configs there as well. But with that out of the way, let's go through some quick things. First off, if you open the menu, you have a little home tab, which is the config section and some user interface changes, as well as you can join my server or unload the cheat. A lot of misconception is people think that these configs, you can create them custom. We don't have that in yet, and that is something we do plan on doing in the future. To get the config location, all you have to do is go to roaming, and then there will be a folder named LuckyCharms. But they have to match exactly how it is. So if you want to load the rage, it has to be rage. There's no other, one at the end, anything like that. It has to be exactly the same. But you can also now toggle the watermark if you don't want it. You can enable it if you want. Tooltips will expand in the future, but right now it's just a bind system because, you can right click to bind. A lot of people don't actually know that. We got a lot of forum posts saying we don't know why the third person toggle, let's say, is not working. They just didn't right click and do on hold, toggle, or whatever. And you can also change the menu color, text color, base color, background color, stuff like that. You got your join and unload button. For the legit section, it's just EA right now, and also don't have the legit AA set up yet. You can do the legit bot, trigger bot, toggles, auto wall between shots or not. Performance, this doesn't usually matter in most scenarios. It's not going to tank you unless you're having a giant FOV or basically like a semi-rage. Visuals, visual aim, and then visual FOV. You can toggle each weapon and override it, or you can just have a default and just do one. So let's say I'll do head. Set the FOV very high, general, legit bot. This will be when it's activated, so let's just do always. So as you can see, it's locking on right now. And then you can smooth it out. So as you can see, it slowly goes to their head. Vertical recoil, you can change this to whatever you want. You can also just do the visual aim, which is the recoiling. Hey, Lucky from the future here. I don't know why the audio gets messed up like this. I still don't know the reason. And I just reformatted my entire hard drive, so I don't have the tool I used to fix it. So sorry. So you can see. And then without it. The other thing is the visual FOV. So you can see a 2D thing, which let me do a little bit of a color difference. Just a normal FOV circle. So as soon as it gets within that range, it starts to aim. And you can do a kind of a cool thing with 3D. So if you're closer to a wall, it'll, make it a little bit bigger, and it looks, I don't know, I kind of like it. It's cool. It's unique. The other thing next up is the trigger bot. Set it to whatever key you want. Select the hitboxes you want for it. Hit chance, minimum damage, and the delay. So if I hover over their head, 225 milliseconds later, it will shoot them. It's the basic stuff. I'm sure you've used the legit bot before, and if you haven't, it's very simple to make. The less you do in terms of, make it like a small FOV, maybe a bigger delay of trigger bot, the less likely you are to get Overwatch, but it really depends on how good you use it. But yeah, that's the basics of the legit bot. Let's just go down to the mist tab. You got your general stuff, the spectator list, hotkeys, as well as just the logs you want. Spectator list goes right over here, and so does the hotkeys. For instance, let's just put this as a toggle, and you can see that the hotkeys is right there. I will have a thing in the future where you can move the hotkeys and spectator list wherever you want, But again, this is not a fully finished cheat. It's more of just I wanted to release it to the public because, I mean, the V3 is so outdated. So on top of that, you got some movement stuff, not really much of anything, and you will get some more in the future pretty soon. But I'm not going to do extensive movement, like an actual movement cheat. It's just going to be the basic stuff. Buybot, your typical buybot, misc with the nades and stuff like that. It's all the same. The memes, there's not much of a meme yet. Superman X-ray mode, which is pretty cool. Basically makes it so if you go next to a wall, you can see through that exact wall, but not really in front of you that far. And then that's an on toggle type of thing. Background particles, which is kind of cool. I don't know what made me do this, but you can do a little snow. You can extend it a little bit further. And then you can also make the particles go always on. So if you want particles to always be on, you can. And then you can also do some cool connecting thing inspired by K-Math. DNA, which this is kind of cool. I don't know how it formed. This is an accident, the way it forms. But I figured it was just kind of cool. You can also do a background color, make it as dark as you want, or have that background color always on. Whatever. Black hole. It basically just forms a circle and around. If you put the menu in the main part of it, it looks pretty cool. So that's kind of things that are just cool, but it doesn't really do much. The skin changer tab, for right now, it is just a number system, and the best way to do this is if you basically go to csgostash.com, you can basically look at any single weapon. So let's just say I select the Desert Eagle, and then I want the code red. I'll click the code red, and if you go down right here, it says finished catalog 711. So I'll just go to my Deagle and then click the input skin as 711 and hit enter, and then it changes it to the code red. For knives like the Gamma Doppler, there is no finished catalog. So you have to scroll down here, and if you want a certain phase, so if you want phase 1, it's 569. If you want phase 2, it's 570, or the one I have is 568. So let me switch it to 572, which is the phase 4. I'll go to here, and then just type in 572, press enter, and now it is the phase 4. If I want to switch it back, just do the same thing, press enter, and now it is the full emerald. This skin changer will be updated in the future, more of a easier way to pick the skins that you want, but for now it is what we have, and it was the least time consuming, so here it is. So with the visual section, you can obviously customize the weapon and hand chams. The weapon chams does not work if you have a skin, but you can change it to whatever you want, flat and all that. Overlay, stained looks pretty cool if you have it a certain color, so you can do stuff like that. I think it looks pretty cool. Hand chams, typical hand chams, change your FOV, all the, normal stuff, third person, change your distance now, the world stuff, typical removables, items, projectiles, and all that, hit marker, penetration crosshair, the typical. A lot of people don't realize when you enable something, it also enables the cham selection. So if I go to local and I don't have this enabled, go to third person, this will not be enabled unless I hit enabled. So you got your typical, you got your normal box, outline, cornered, and you also got the baby, which is just, yeah, basically everything is the typical stuff except your draw shot record, and it only does it if you, see if I shoot the player, it doesn't do anything unless I do the aimbot. So if I turn on automatic fire, you can see that when I kill the player, or shoot them at least, it will draw the shot record, but that's basically it for the visuals. For the HVH section, it is very similar to V3, I believe. You can do manual anti-aims, and this is an override and the offset you want to do. So let's say left, I'll bind it to the left key, and then, yeah, same thing as V3. Desync, enable, you can do the base of it, or you can also use the inverted key. You can use opposite. Desync on use is basically when you use the E key, it'll continue to desync. Angled priority. Wall detection is basically if you go by a wall. So as you can see, I'm hidden behind the wall. Safe yaw is basically just freestanding. You can obviously change your jitter for it and all that. Fake lag, similar as V3 as well. You got just basic triggers, and you can disable on dormancy. So if fake lagging all the time, but then everybody goes dormant. I just don't fake lag at all. And that's it for the HVH tab. The only tab left is the Rage tab, which everything is practically the same, as well as from the original V4 showcase video. Accuracy, prioritize save point, or you can save point specific on certain conditions. So if I'm going to force save point on head for only when they're lethal, it's really good if you're scouting and you don't want to headshot somebody that is very low. You can either force a delay or set a certain amount of milliseconds until it does shoot that specific hitbox and ignores the save point. Force accuracy basically forces it so you have to be under a certain threshold to shoot. Some cheats do this by default. Target scanning, I would always do this on medium or high unless you're like constantly lagging or it's a massively populated server. Then you can do low. But it basically will target less people at certain moments. So double tap, you got your double tap teleport, extended, disabled Ferrari, hide shots, fake thug, knife bot, Zeus bot, auto scope, auto stop, instant auto stop, silent aim, predictive, no scope. For all of these, you basically have your normal stuff. If you want to override the config, and then you can do whatever you want to it. That is it for the V4 release video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know any feedback. I don't care if it's bad feedback, good feedback. I want to hear any type of feedback and what I can do differently to make it better. Now, keep in mind, this is still not a pay-to-cheat competitor. I'm not trying to be a pay-to-cheat competitor. But there will be updates in the near future, so stay tuned to that. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. If you do like the cheat, consider subscribing. Or even if you don't like it, just to consider subscribing. There will be plenty of videos without Lucky Charms in the near future. Alright guys, peace.